Sea of Trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Ahead on primetime, with an increase in COVID hospitalizations, the Guam Memorial Hospital is working to make room. Plus, the island records its 77th and 78th COVID-related fatality. And trial resumes for former police officer Mark Torrey Jr.
Half a day and good evening, everyone. It's sad to have to keep reporting on this, but the COVID-19 death toll now stands at 78. A 76-year-old woman with underlying conditions died shortly after 11 a.m. today. She was admitted to GMH on October 22nd after testing positive for the virus at GRMC. Yesterday, an 82-year-old woman became Guam's 77th COVID death. She too had underlying conditions and was under hospice care at home. She was pronounced dead on arrival at GMH just before 3:30 Wednesday morning. And on Wednesday night, the Joint Information Center reported that out of the 619 test samples from various labs, 48 tested positive for COVID-19. Of the new cases, 5 were identified through contact tracing. And as of March, there have been a total of 4,466 officially reported cases, with 78 deaths, as we mentioned, 1,772 in active isolation, and 2,618 no longer in active isolation. The latest COVID census at GMH shows 78 patients hospitalized. Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas reports 14 patients are currently receiving ICU level of care, with 4 of those patients on ventilator support. 11 are currently in recovery at the CIF in Barragata Heights. In total, 51 patients were transferred there, with most having returned home to quarantine or moved to a government isolation facility. Posadas says it offers some hope that COVID patients can recover. She also reports continued success with proning, where they turn patients over as a way to help prevent further respiratory system deterioration and also helps keep them off ventilators. If there's no space, where do you put them? With COVID hospitalizations at record numbers, the Guam Memorial Hospital is working to shift things around to ensure it can accommodate the recent surge of COVID patients. Here's more.
It's been reported time and time again, Guam's only public hospital doing their best to make ends meet. With inadequate funds, lack of resources, and a building some say should be condemned. Now with COVID patients being admitted left to right, GMH is searching for ways to make sure they're able to serve the rush of COVID patients. Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas says the work is underway.
We had the DPW clear out and put some asphalt, gravel in this courtyard area closest to the Z-Wing. The purpose of that is to put a tent that will be used by the Guam Fire Department for their donning and their doffing process.
Posadas spoke on the medical tents to be used on site.
We are going to be getting Blue Met tents. I understand they've arrived on island and they're going through the process, customs clearance process. That Blue Met tent, we're going to use it for overflow of Care 3 patients, COVID patients, who are then either ready to be discharged home or transferred over to the SIF. So that's what's going on in terms of our, continuous, ongoing restructuring, converting our units, our areas, to accommodate patients.
The Blue Med tents will replace the current Warrior tent that is set up near the emergency room. But with storms passing around the island this weekend, Posadas says they're looking into actions they might have to take should the weather become less than cooperative.
My understanding is that they are not capable of withholding typhoon winds, and that's why we're putting them under an enclosed area in the physician so that there's that protection. And also in the emergency room, we're putting them under the overhang, so there's a little bit of protection there. But if anything, if we need to take it down, then for the safety of the patients and the staff, if we need to take it down, then we need to take it down. If we can secure it down more, those are options that we need to into consideration.
Along with prepping the facility with the installation of tents, Posadas says they've also been working to make the most of the space they already have.
at 10 o'clock, we're going to start moving those patients in the pediatrics to the 4th floor. We're moving them down to the 1st floor rehab area. That has been converted, the whole area has been converted to accommodate pediatric patients. And if they need to be on a pediatric intensive care unit level, we've also made that area available for the peds population.
According to Posadas, this shift in patients will free up the entire surgical floor, leaving 35 beds ready for use with non-COVID patients. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Draft regulations are coming down that are designed to add more teeth to the enforcement of social distancing directives. Yesterday, the governor not only extended the public health emergency for another month, but also exercised her authority to fast-track the implementation of new rules to impose hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in fines for violators. Here's more. In her latest order, the governor noted that since she imposed her stay-at-home directive, the police have had to respond to more than 3,300 violations of social gathering and social distancing. Public health spokesperson Janela Carrera acknowledges they've received plenty of complaints.
For the past several months, we've really just been kind of going at it a little by little, just sort of encouraging people to follow the executive order.
Apparently, public health will go from merely encouraging compliance to more serious enforcement. It will soon release draft rules and regulations that will allow it to come down much harder on violators of DPHSS directives.
And it does include a proposal to levy fines for those who are not in compliance with the executive order. And so in the draft rules and regs, it has a scaled version of fines.
The fines will range from $100 up to $1,000 for individuals and from $1,000 to $10,000 for businesses. Meanwhile, to fast-track the process, the governor has invoked the Emergency Health Powers Act and suspended rulemaking procedures. In short, it allows public health to shortcut the typical process for new rulemaking under the Administrative Adjudication Act.
If we go the normal route of the AAA process, by the time we get that done, that could really take a while.
But Republicans, including Senator Jim Moylan, have seized on the AAA suspension. The GOP in a news release comparing it to a dictatorship, and Moylan introducing a new bill to impose more checks and balances under the Health Powers Act. Meanwhile, Carrera says they do plan to hold a public hearing on the still unreleased rules, and Adelup Press Secretary Crystal Paco San Agustin says that hearing could come as early as this weekend. Yes, free COVID-19 testing is available for both the insured and uninsured. Public Health's Janela Carrera sought to clear up some confusion, saying the test itself is free for all, but for some with insurance, a fee might be assessed depending on the situation.
If you go into clinics that are Tier 2 clinics that do not have the Abbott machine, and say you have health insurance coverage, it's still at no cost to the patient, but there may be a clinical assessment that's done to the patient, particularly if they have symptoms, if they're symptomatic. There may be a charge for that. Now, if you have health insurance coverage, then the health insurance provider may be billed, and then there may be a copay for that. If you don't have health insurance, typically what the provider, the clinic will do is, they'll ask the patient up front, do you have health insurance? And if you don't, they'll send you to public health, and public health will take those patients.
Carrera says the bottom line is they want people who feel they have symptoms to come in and get tested. The Tier 2 clinics that have the testing equipment include American Medical Clinic, Guam Medical Care, and One Love Pediatrics. Meanwhile, Public Health, in collaboration with the Mayor's Council, the FSM Consulate, and the FSM Association of Guam, will conduct community testing again this Saturday, October 31st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Estumbo Gym in Dededo. However, due to potential heavy rain circulation, again, spokesperson Carrera says it may have to be postponed.
We are keeping an eye on that. Hopefully, the weather passes. We do want to proceed with testing this weekend. It's very important to us.
The community COVID testing is open to the first 200 participants. Those interested in the free testing can register through the FSM Consulate office. A parishioner from Our Lady of Peace and Safe Journey Catholic Church in Talampago has tested positive for COVID-19. According to the Archdiocese of Agana, protocols to safeguard the community are being taken, and the parish will work with public health on contact tracing. Though the parishioner may have contracted the virus elsewhere, the safety protocols are being taken because the person attended Mass this past week. The church will be closed through Friday. It will reopen Saturday for its regular evening Mass. The Department of Youth Affairs conducted COVID testing for 5 more officers on Wednesday, and results are pending. Arrangements are being made to test the remaining 2 officers, though it's not clear whether they're working or on home quarantine. Also tested were 5 more youth residents. 3 were in cottage homes and in close contact with a COVID-positive officer. DYA Deputy Director Crescinda Uggan says 1 client in the D unit was showing symptoms and was tested along with 1 client from the F unit who previously refused testing.
Residents are still being monitored closely, and the officers are still recovering in isolation. 1 has been cleared to return to duty, and 1 remains in government isolation, while the other 3 remain in home isolation.
Uggan says the F unit has been designated as the COVID-19 isolation unit, while the D unit, formerly known as the female unit, is serving as the quarantine unit. DYA has made arrangements with DOC for 2 officers to assist in operations. Uggan has confirmed all residents have been tested. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
Travel's Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Hafaday, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been an honor to serve as your senator these last 2 years, and I've acted each day to represent you and your families. I'm driven by my deep respect for you, the hardworking people of Guam, and that's why I continue to fight to build a better future for our island. And there's still so much to do. That's why I'm humbly asking for one of your votes this election. Please vote Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat. Thank you.
I am Verna Charglaff Mendiola, and I am voting for Joe.
I am Danny Blas. I am voting for Joe.
I'm Marilyn Tablante. I'm voting for Joe.
I am Sarah Babauta Charglaff Titano, and I am voting for Joe.
I'm Seth Evangelista, and I'm voting for Joe.
I am Emily Caceres, and I'm voting for Joe.
Ako po si Junel Ombrero. Iboto po natin si Joe.
My name is Anthony James Sebastian Wolford, and I am voting for Joe.
I am Edith Blas, and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Richard San Nicolas, and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Senator Joe Simmons of St. Augustine, and I approve this message.
Thank you for the opportunity to present myself as a candidate for Congress. To Mr. San Nicolas and Mr. Underwood, thank you both for your service and a spirited campaign. For those of you who have yet to go to the polls, and you're not afraid of change, let's write the next chapter of the Guam story, one of recovery and long-term prosperity. I humbly ask for your vote. Win or lose, I'm here for you. I'm Will Castro. I approve this message.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
The people of Guam in this election is the kind of service that is predicated upon integrity and honesty and trust. Not Robert Underwood just candidate for Congress. This is Robert Underwood with a whole bunch of people running for Congress. And that's all of you, ladies and gentlemen. All of you are running for Congress. This is not a one-man show. This is a movement. This is a movement for dignity. This is a movement for trustworthiness. This is a movement for integrity. I'm standing up for you all the time. I will fight with everything I got. I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. Mark Torrey Jr.'s trial moves forward today with Chief Prosecutor Basil O'Malley calling up government witnesses to testify. This is the government's second attempt to convict Torrey for the 2015 fatal shooting of fellow police officer Albert Piolo. He faces negligent homicide and aggravated assault charges. Police officers who reported at the crime scene testified what they observed that day. GPD officer Joseph Edkilani.
When would the pretrial motions finally
I noticed Mark Torrey Jr. was holding Bert in his arms. Bert was faced toward Mark Jr. and he was shirtless. I observed what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the right side of his chest, just a little bit below the armpit.
Throughout the day, more officers provided testimony regarding various items of evidence that were taken into custody. This included samples of gunshot residue and the gun holster. Trial continues tomorrow. 32-year-old Thomas Yongdong Min was arrested for terrorizing and family violence after calling in a threat to a tenant at the Hakobotan building in Tamuning. As reported yesterday, the Guam Police Department, as a precautionary measure, closed its Administration Services Bureau, which occupies the building. The case was assumed by GPD's Domestic Assault Response Team, and investigators were able to locate Min as a person of interest. He was subsequently booked and confined. 10 new 2020 Mitsubishi Outlanders have been added to the police department's fleet. The vehicles, which are outfitted with lights and sirens, have a price tag of roughly $30,000 each and were purchased through CARES Act funding. They will serve GPD's 24-hour operational needs in patrolling the streets and neighborhoods. Also, the Department of Public Works Office of Highway Safety, through federal grants, purchased a new trailer which GPD's Highway Patrol Division will use during DWI checkpoints. And along with ongoing discussions about the reopening of public schools, another difficult issue for GDOE to address during the COVID-19 pandemic has been the Division of Special Education. Superintendent John Fernandez, during a weekly update on KUAM's The Link, says Individualized Education Program, or IEP, conversations are expected to be more involved than prior years in order to determine a new norm during this prolonged shutdown and when to return to the classroom.
So, we do have a lot of supports that are here and underway in terms of trying to help us adjust to the current situation. So, as part of our efforts to really reach out to parents and ensure we're addressing their needs and their concerns, there is a 3-part series that's focused really on the IEP process. Again, the IEP process is not a new part of the process. It's just that during this COVID-19 situation, our parents and our students and our teams at the schools have had to come up with interim plans to make sure that services can be considered and delivered within this COVID-19 shutdown.
The 3-part series begins on November 4th. GDOE is opening registration until Friday, October 30th. You can contact 300-1322 or sped@gdoe.net for more information. Driving up to take their oath, 22 individuals are now American citizens, as a naturalization ceremony was held this morning in the District Court of Guam parking lot. The ceremony also recognized Filipino American History Month. Chief Judge Francis Tadinko Gatewood and Magistrate Judge Michael Burdalio welcomed the newest citizens.
I encourage each and every one of you today in our parking lot. Sorry we couldn't be in the courtroom, but this is the COVID-19 outbreak and we have to accommodate the situation. But I encourage each and every one of you, as Judge Burdalio, as you embark on your new journey as Americans, to continue to embrace your unique histories. After all, America is a nation of immigrants. For many of you, it has been a long road, and today your dream will become a reality. Congratulations to each of you and St. Mossi.
The ceremony was held outdoors in keeping with COVID-19 guidelines. All participants wore masks and stood outside their cars, socially distanced from one another. Described as true frontliners, island nurses were honored by the legislature with a resolution commending them for their vital role and perseverance in our local COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. Guam Nurses Association President Rose Greeno.
During this pandemic, the nurses continue to play a pivotal role as a frontline healthcare professionals in the hospital, public health, clinics, home, school, and the community. Nurses go above and beyond, made sacrifices in putting ourselves at risk to provide compassionate care to our people. I do urge the community to support and do their share to support the frontliners. As a community, we should use these moments to inspire and uplift us to face these challenges together.
This year marks the 69th anniversary of the Guam Nurses Association. The World Health Organization also designated 2020 as the year of the nurse and midwife in recognition of the vital role they play across the globe in providing health services. We're going to take another short break and be back with more right after this.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
I know that declaring war on corruption is an invitation for hurtful attacks and half-truths against me and my service to the people. But I also know the people of Guam are stronger and smarter than these dishonest players whose misdeeds and acts of corruption have cost us millions in political payoffs this year alone. If we allow corruption to continue, we all lose. Let's put an end to corruption. Vote Joanne Brown for Senator. My name is Joanne Brown and I approve this message, paid for by the committee to elect Joanne M. Brown for Senator.
Get going with GTA Prepaid Unlimited. It's easy to load. Simply press star 488#, send, select 2 on your screen, and then load. And with fast LTE data, you're able to quickly connect and share to your digital world. Plus, with reliable service, you're able to connect with loved ones whenever, wherever. GTA, we start with you.
Hafide Guam, this is Telo Tairigui. Fighting for you has been my honor, regardless of the politics and the challenges we faced. I've worked hard every day to improve GMH facilities, fund security cameras for public safety, support road repairs, and call out legislation and decisions that break the people's trust in government. The fight for these priorities isn't over. It's just begun. I'm Telo Tairigui. I approve this message and humbly ask for your vote. Situs Masing, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Guam.
Hafide, I'm Tony Ada. I'm running to be your senator in the 36th Guam legislature. Together, we will build a Guam with a more resilient and diverse economy. Together, we will make our neighborhoods safer for our families. Together, we will streamline government spending by passing a realistic, responsible budget. I'm Tony Ada, and I humbly ask for your vote. I'm number 7 on the Republican side of the ballot, and together we will. I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message.
Guys, how far? Are you ready?
We're ready!
Ready to move in a positive direction, ready to move forward. Are you ready?
I am ready. Are you? Biba Underwood for Congress.
Manlistuhan!
Biba! Both for
Robert Underwood!
Yeah!
Inanahu sa totoong para umabota si Senyor Robert Underwood.
Sonia is ready! Biba Underwood!
Robert Underwood for Congress!
The Alvarez family from Jigo is voting for Robert Underwood.
Are you ready?
I am ready. We are ready for Robert Underwood.
I'm voting for Robert Underwood.
I'm supporting Robert Underwood.
Are you ready?
We're ready!
Biba Underwood for Congress.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back. People from Guam are spread throughout the U.S. mainland, and Chamorros from the Midwest have come together to teach Guam's culture and create bonds all across the world. With more on the group, here's Tyler Matanani.
The Chamorro Association of the Midwest is a nonprofit organization that started in 2018 with roots dating back to 2008. Headquartered in Ohio, they work to bring the Chamorro culture to the Midwest and beyond. And it all started in the backyard on Liberation Day. Acting President Tim Meno.
My mom and dad had a Paul and Anthony Diane Meno. They started a little liberation in the backyard. And from there, I met some Chamorros and said, wow, there is Chamorros out here. So I'm like, you know, it would be nice if we can get together rather than just doing liberation and do other things where we can actually develop a network and help each other out.
They will be hosting a webinar, Chamorro Pathways to Higher Education, on October 31st. Chamorro Association of the Midwest Education Director, Antoinette McDaniel.
We were organizing this so that we could fill a void for Chamorro traditional high school students and their parents. But we want everyone to come along and just see the plethora of talent and ability and the kinds of scholars and the fact that these scholars were talking about Chamorro culture.
Board member Christine Camacho says one of the reasons for the webinar is to inspire Chamorros across the board to pursue a higher education.
We just want to inspire people across the globe to go back to school, and we'll have different segments later down the line, not only to look at four-year colleges, but two-year colleges and other options for our people to be represented, no matter where they are.
For more information on the webinar, visit their Facebook at Chamorro Association of the Midwest nonprofit, as well as ChamorroMidwestAssociation.org. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
Birthday shout-outs coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for the opportunity to present myself as a candidate for Congress. To Mr. Sir Nicholas and Mr. Underwood, thank you both for your service and a spirited campaign. For those of you who have yet to go to the polls, and you're not afraid of change, let's write the next chapter of the Guam story, one of recovery and long-term prosperity. I humbly ask for your vote. Win or lose, I'm here for you. I'm Will Castro. I approve this message.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
We rely on each other to be there in the good and bad times.
Parents rely on me for making sure that their kids are always in the best of their health.
The community relies on me when emergencies strike.
My students rely on me to move them higher in what they're learning.
Our kids rely on us to provide them with all the support they need.
For keeping us in touch every day,
for every call and schedule I receive, and for every emergency I respond to.
And with my need to respond in the timeliest manner,
to keep my knowledge updated.
For keeping us connected every day, we only rely on Docomo Pacific.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
I am the future.
We are the future. The future leaders.
Businesswoman.
Please keep us in mind
When you vote,
Don't choose more of the same.
John Ananich is unique and new. Focus on the mission of making our island safer.
And securing our
Future.
I
am the future. Vote for John Ananich.
For Senator!
Visit us at johnananich.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm John Ananich, and I approve this message.
I think it's really important for Guamanians to get out and vote, because the people who are coming in charge are coming in now. They're the ones that are going to handle Guam right after the pandemic. I registered to vote because I think everybody's voice needs to be heard, and I don't really have any power except for that, for voting. If we want a better Guam, it's the responsibility of the youth to speak up, because they're the loudest. Hey, I'm Mark, I'm 26 years old, and I stand with the pack.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on this October 29th to Celine Kanga. Happy birthday to our girl. May you have a wonderful day. We love you very, very much. Liam Paulino has birthday number 4, and happy birthday, Liam. Your shout-out is you are such an amazing, talented, and smart kid. Love from your Mendoza and Paulino familia. Nico Jude Sablan has birthday number 26, so happy birthday blessings to Koku. Love and miss you plenty from your Guam familia. And Elysia Cruz. Happy birthday, sis Elysia. We wish you a wonderful day and many more years ahead. Please enjoy your special day. Love you, Bula, your familia. And happy birthday to the new guy around here in Harmon, but certainly he's someone that you've seen and heard for many, many years. Our reporter, Pete Sanchez. Pete, the very dulcet tones. He's a really, really nice guy. We're glad to have him as a member of our team, of our family. And Pete, we wish you a very, very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Peter. Welcome to the family. And before, remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be safe out there.
Hafa and welcome to Uno Mix. I'm your host, Tyler Matanani, and thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to feature businesses and people in the community that are making big waves on our small island. To start off, if you're thinking about what to get the special gals in your life this holiday season, look no further. Our first guest is a new local jewelry business that is Pacific influences and giving it a modern twist. Here's Ililai. Locally owned, handcrafted, and culturally inspired, Ililai is an up-and-coming jewelry line created by two Palauan sisters, Shannon Wong and Denalyn Giramore. With each piece telling a different story, we first need to know where it began.
What really inspired us was this family heirloom that we had. And it's basically a Palauan money necklace. And it's something that my mom had worn for the longest time. And I always wondered, like, why did she wear this all the time? It's so bright, it's so yellow. I soon discovered that this necklace represented our status, our class, and it basically told the history of my clan.
The story behind a tiny stone sparked the idea to bring a modern twist on traditional style jewelry. Shannon and Denalyn continue to utilize traditional materials such as polymer clay and draw inspiration from both their culture as well as nature.
the ones that I'm wearing right now, they're inspired by the rattan furniture and design. So I noticed that a lot of people are into that, as well as like plants and flowers. Rather than just selling jewelry, we're sharing our story with others. And it's been just a great experience, honestly, like meeting new people and getting good feedback. A lot of the times we're given suggestions. And with that, we're learning more about our culture. So it's been great.
And just in case you were wondering, no, you do not have to be Palauan to wear a lilay. Shannon, who is Chamorro and Palauan, helped create the brand to learn more about her Palauan roots.
I was born here on Guam, but I was raised by my Palauan mother. So in a sense, I was privileged to be Chamorro and grow up here on Guam, you know. But in a way, I did feel disconnected to that Palauan side, and that's the reason why I created this jewelry. It's because that Palauan heirloom that I had inspired me, and I wanted to learn more. So our jewelry is for everybody and for anybody who wants to just connect, and you know, it's for women too, you know, who want to just express themselves, connect, and we would just want to build a community basically of women.
Shannon says that in the future, they hope to expand into other crafts, such as home decor. They'll be having a new launch on November 7th, and they tend to sell out quickly, so make sure to mark your calendars and follow them on Instagram at ililay.jewels.
Shout out to Ililay because these earrings are my new favorite. When we come back, we're cooking things up with a couple of girls from the Micronesia Climate Change Alliance. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Vince Beneventi and I'm voting for Joe.
My name is Elisa. Again, I'm voting for Joe.
My name is John Robert Taitano and I am voting for Joe.
I'm Marjorie Linsky. I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Dado Razon. I'm voting for Joe.
I am Deb Kenga. I am voting for Joe.
My name is John Ria Taitano and I'm voting for Joe.
My name is Jerry Labosa and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Ellie Baldemore. I'm voting for Joe San Agustin.
Please vote Joe San Agustin for Senator. Thank you.
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Agustin and I approve this message.
100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
We are still in this together.
At KUAM, we're working harder than ever to bring you the and coronavirus news.
We take our jobs as first informers seriously.
Asking the questions you want the answers to.
So thank you, Guam, for continuing to trust us to keep you informed.
Welcome back to Uno Mix. I'm Tyler Matsunani. Now, I hope you guys wash your hands during the break because we're heading over to the kitchen to cook up a little something with the girls from Micronesia Climate Change Alliance.
Fangaisi, from the Chamorro root word gayasi, meaning mercy or compassion. Together, the phrase asks everyone collectively to have compassion. The Micronesia Climate Change Alliance, along with a bunch of amazing women in Guam's community, came together to bring Guam's first plant-based Chamorro cookbook, written entirely by women to encourage conscious, compassionate eating. MCCA's Francesca De Oro.
The way we chose that word was based on compassionate eating and conscious living, which was what we wanted to introduce with this concept of a plant-based cookbook, because due to like industrial farming practices and the treatment of animals as well as the treatment of our own bodies, a lot of our food systems have become out of balance, and to have compassion and consciousness about our diet is something that is good for all of us, good for climate change, good for our bodies, and that was basically what we wanted to share with the cookbook.
The cookbook was a huge collaboration with a bunch of local women.
I wasn't actually part of the first group of women that got together to brainstorm this idea. It was mostly Michelle from MCCA, my sister Muñeca from MCCA, and Tawny from Z's Green Canteen, and I included just a few of my own little short recipes.
Francesca says other food content creators, including Debbie from The Earth Kitchen and Veroni Sablon from The Holly Vegan, who's also the artist for the cookbook, brought the idea to life. Francesca says much of the work that they've done to decolonize and indigenize and make their diets more plant-based sparked the idea to create Fangaisi. The MCCA, aligning with Guahan's sustainable culture, decided to respond to pandemic issues that local farmers were facing.
And it just so happens that food sovereignty is also really, really beneficial for climate change and social justice. So taking that in mind, we decided to highlight that issue with our video series, using some of our funding as well, and just making our community consciousness a little bit more aware of the solutions and the problems that we have at hand.
You may also remember this beautiful Nan, former UNO gal Cami Aguiola. Her journey with Fangaisi began during Guam's first island-wide quarantine.
Micronesia Climate Change Alliance does a really good job about putting out all of this information into the community, and my way of adding to that was being kind of like a guinea pig, I guess. It was something that I learned about over the first quarantine that we had, the first lockdown that we had, and it was kind of just a log of my journey as well into living a more compassionate lifestyle that highlighted local foods and farmers. There's parts of the cookbook where it's basically like you're reading a story. You really feel good in a holistic way. In terms of the food and the way it tastes, I mean, there's no sacrifice, and they don't sacrifice taste at all.
All right, they got me 100% convinced. I got my copy of Fangaisi that same night and tried my hand at making both Francesca and Cami's favorite dish from the book.
It was oats caldo. I love the oats caldo recipe. So it's a plant-based take on arroz caldo or arroz patdu. It tastes amazing and it's so simple. That's what I love about it. I like savory breakfast, so I eat it for breakfast, and it's something quick that I can meal prep and then eat for the rest of the week for breakfast.
She had me at simple. It's time for me to give this a try.
And welcome to my kitchen. So we are going to be making Francesca and Cami's highly recommended oats caldo. And like Cami said, one of the first ingredients I see here that is kind of odd, oats. So I guess that's going to be the main replacement. So I have everything all prepped. I have the garlic, ginger, green onions, and lemon for garnish. And I have our oats vegetable broth and the vegetable oil. And then we're just gonna let this sit for a little bit. Whoa, that's a close shot. Oh, that smell is coming through now. That smells nice. And here we have it, nice and hot right out the pot. Let's try this up. I'm going to stir it a bit. And I'm just hoping that it's not too hot because this thing was like literally boiling. Yeah, it's like a hearty oatmeal.
I actually would eat this because I am more of I love savory foods. So this in the morning, I think it's a great way to just like warm up your body, make you feel a little good, nice and hot for the day on the tropical island. And it's a great healthy alternative. So try this out yourself. I was able to get my hands on Fungi over at Payless. So get yours today, and they also have their ebook available. So better for the planet.
I can't wait to try all the recipes from Fungi, and remember, you can too. Just go to any Payless and purchase your copy today. Or you can always go to the MCCA website and get that ebook. Don't go away, more Uno Mix when we return.
I am the future.
We are the future.
The future leaders.
Businesswomen. Please keep us in mind
when you vote.
Don't choose more of the same.
John Ananich is unique and new. Focus on the mission of making our island safer
and securing our future.
I am the future.
Vote for John Ananich.
For Senator!
Visit us at johnananich.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm John Ananich, and I approve this message.
Get going with GTA Prepaid Unlimited. It's easy to load. Simply press star 488#, send, select 2 on your screen, and then load. And with fast LTE data, you're able to quickly connect and share to your digital world. Plus, with reliable service, you're able to connect with loved ones whenever, wherever. GTA, we start with you.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment. The Christmas Pops Virtual Holiday Shopping Fair is coming on Sunday, November 29th. It's the 3rd annual Christmas Pops event with local artisans, crafters, and businesses in a reimagined and safe way for you to shop. As many small businesses struggle to survive, the call to buy local is greater than ever. To learn more and participate in this one-of-a-kind multimedia marketplace event on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications, bringing together the island's biggest array of local vendors, email bettyann@kuam.com or visit kuam.com. Presented to you by Stroll Courier. Get all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today.
Next summer, the games return for an Olympics unlike any other.
And welcome back to the show. It's time to shake things up with At the Bar Rewind.
Good day, everyone. I'm Tyler Matinani. Thanks so much for joining us with another At the Bar. Today we have wine connoisseur, if you will, Jason, here to tell us a bit some wine 101, if you will. So Jason, what have we got?
So today the idea is we're going to discuss wine 101. We're going to discuss New World wine. So what is New World wine? So New World wine would be consisted of California, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Chile, and Argentina. But today we're specifically focusing on California wines. It accounts for 90% of all production of wine in the US. And in California, we have 138 different districts inside of California, which is, they call them American Viticulture Areas, AVA. So that can be California as a whole, it can be Napa Valley, it can be Sonoma, it can be Sierra Foothills. It just really depends on where you really want to focus your wine from.
Okay, now I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with this problem. I know how to open a wine, use the cork and everything, but my problem personally is trying to get the lining off of it. So I know you're going to teach us how to do that.
Okay, yeah, of course. It's very simple procedure. We're gonna open one of the reds, you see here. We're gonna take the corkscrew And I usually like going two ways. I'm left-handed, so I always like to go the second lip here, and you go one left, and you go one right. So it breaks it apart. Then you take the center right there, so you have a little cushion, and then you just slowly pull it off. Oh, sorry. And you take the foil, drop it like a boss.
Of course, he makes it look so easy. I usually have to cut all, and it's all jagged by the end by the time I'm done.
But usually, I mean, this is, you know, the unique way it makes it look nice and presentable. If you're at a restaurant or at a table, you always want to look for that nice finish on the bottle. Okay. And then after that, you just easily want to stick your cork tip inside really hard, and then you just slowly or quickly, depending how strong you are, put it all the way inside. And then you see these pull tabs, they have two different opening sections. So you do the first one here, pull it like that. And then you have the second one that pulls just like this. And then it slowly pops.
Okay, now we have our wine open. Now we have to get it into the glass. So I'm not sure if there's a specific way to do it. I know it can get a bit messy. So Jason, can you show us the best way, in your opinion, to pour the wine?
Of course, usually you always want to have a little cloth, but if you don't have the time to have a cloth, it just basically you're pouring with a little finesse, a little swirl, and then you're doing a little twist, and then just like that. How do we taste wine? How do we identify wine? So identifying a wine is also by color. So when we look at a color, it also tells by different grape varietals. So right here, we look at this wine, we know it's a red wine. From that red wine color, we're looking at it if it's a full-bodied wine or light-bodied wine. So the darker the color, the more full-bodied wine it is. After that, when you're tasting wine, you always want to look at the legs of the wine. So what do the legs tell you? It tells you how much alcohol is in a wine. And everything about alcohol also tells about what region the wine comes from. So warmer regions, higher alcohol, cooler regions, lesser alcohol. So now we're going to smell the Callaway Merlot. So what do we smell inside? What are we getting?
Wine.
Well, we do get wine, it is wine. But after that,
it's really nice. It's not too, the alcohol isn't too strong. It's not burning your nose or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's the good thing is that, and especially New World, a lot of times there's a little more sugar inside. So it's a little more balanced, a little more easygoing for the new wine drinkers. So now, ready to taste? So you see I made that little noise. So that little noise really is putting air in your palate, so it's really opening up the wine a little bit more.
Oh, this is really good.
So now we identified it has that fruity characteristic, nice and balanced acidity, alcohol is not overpowering, the tannins are not too much, and a lot of times to find tannins in red wine, if they're drier tannins, they really stick to your teeth. So when your teeth get dry, that means it's a more bigger bodied, more tannins in your wine.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for teaching us a bit more on wine etiquette and what to look out for. Thank you guys for tuning in for another At the Bar episode. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
The bars may be closed, but at least we can still enjoy happy hour at home. When we come back, we've got our monthly roundup of Sunday vibes.
100% truck, 100% Jeep brand. The all-new Jeep Gladiator is the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck crafted for adventure. Equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in the brand new Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $283 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to get pre-approved today.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
Local music mashup.
For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this. Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King. Be your way.
Join KUAM News every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on TV8 and streaming live on the KUAM News Facebook page for In Full Zoom, a half-hour program zooming in on efforts to rebuild Guam's economy. Nestor Lecanto will interview a panel of guests from the business sector via Zoom to discuss their ideas and suggestions on how the island can rebound from the devastating blow from COVID-19. From struggles to strategies to get Guam back on the road to economic recovery. Check out In Full Zoom Wednesdays on KUAM Digital and KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. Check KUAM.com or our mobile news app for additional showtimes.
The Games return for an Olympics unlike any other.
That wraps up this Uno Mix. Remember, if you or anyone you know would like to be featured in our next episode for hustle, art, grub, or style, all you have to do is email me, Tyler, at KUAM.com, and we'll get you on there. Remember to give a follow right down below, and we're gonna leave you with Sunday vibes. We'll see you next time.
I know you're somewhere out there waiting for me. Just know that I'll never stop looking for you. I know you're somewhere out there putting some time into yourself. Just know that I'll be here wishing, praying for you. 'Cause I'll give you my kind of love. That kiss you when you wake up, what you do, you wake up kind of love. See, I just wanna be your man, be there when you just can't stand. I'll be there when you fall. 'Cause I'll give you my kind of love. Say, girl, I wanna meet you at the right time. At the right time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to fuss. Let's do it right. As soon as I get you in my arms, baby, you'll see. See, there ain't nobody ever gonna love you like me. 'Cause I'll give you my kind of love. That holds your hand so tightly, even if we're fighting kind of love. Said I just wanna be your man, be there when you just can't stand. I'll be there when you fall. I'll give you my kind of love. It's just a waiting game that I am willing to play. It's just a matter of time before I get to see you every day. It's just a waiting game that I am willing to play. It's just a matter of time before I get to see you every day. I'll give you my kind of